Are you hoping that your screen looks like this? Are you hoping that you've got every single trophy in Black Ops 3? It is an amazing platinum to have, however, the grind is no joke. Are you hoping to look like this? I'm going to show you how. I'm not going to lie, it ain't the legit way. So, I'm going to show you 3 different runs of the campaign so that you can get every single medal that you see right now. Now, each run I'm going to title a different thing, okay? Because you are going for different things on every campaign run. Now, one thing that is noted, and I'll show you why, each run needs to be a full playthrough. It cannot be a half playthrough, it cannot be in the middle, it cannot be just mission select. You have to do a full playthrough of every single one. You can start on mission 6, but you'll have to go through mission 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, then go back to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you're back at 6. Okay? You have to do it in sequential order, otherwise it will not work, and I'll show you why. The first run is your realistic run, but also your medal run. So, what you are going to do is you're going to try and get a camo on a weapon. You're going to try to finish a whole camo on a weapon, okay? It will take you about the entire campaign to get 1 camo. It is ridiculous. Okay, not 1 camo, but the end camo. Alright? You will then not worry about any of this stuff. You can buy it on the way, it doesn't really matter. But you are gunning for these 2. Veteran and realistic completion. Okay, and I'm going to show you a way of doing this that's slightly cheesy. Okay, but it's up to you. You can do it legit if you want. I'm going to show you the better way. Well, the non-proper way, but the easier way. Now, your realistic run. You are not going to be running on realistic, except for the very final part. You're going to be running it on recruit. So, when you're on recruit, you're going to be wanting to get as many of the accolades as possible. Now, if you don't know what an accolade is, I'll quickly show you.
Where's Hendrix?
Okay, so if we go into our mission, we have lots and lots of different accolades. Now, a lot of these accolades are very, very specific things. So, for example, shoot 10 helmets off German soldiers. That one's not that bad. Kill the tiger tank in the village before it can fire a shot. That is super specific. There is 1 tiger tank. Okay, so you're going to want to watch a video, which I'll link in the description, so that you can try get as many of these accolades in a row to start. Okay, because run 1, if you don't get enough accolades, it will be really painful to try get those accolades, especially on round 3. You might want to try get a few on round 2, I'll show you what I mean, but round 3, nah, wouldn't do it. Alright, so I've just gone to the, just quickly grinded through and got to the end of the mission. As you can see, recruit difficulty. Alright. Also, you can see I've got a collectible. If you have a look, got the hat. As you can see, I'm in the last part of the cutscene. Like I said, check the description. I'll post that forum post, and there's a link. There's a post down at the bottom where you can see everyone has a guy has posted all the end parts of each mission, so you can always go to the end on recruit, as you see. Then what you're going to do is you're going to want to save and quit. Alright, so now that I'm back at the main menu, okay, I just saved and quit. You're going to want to go select mission, and then what I would do is just unlock all the missions really quick, then you can pick another mission. Alright, doesn't matter, doesn't do anything to your problem, it just tells you the names of them. Alright, so you can see it's still there, collectibles, accolades, still there. Alright, and then you're going to want to go on the new mission, click it. I would pick New World, just works for me. Obviously if you're doing New World, you do a different mission, but New World works for me. And then you're going to want to make sure that you set it to realistic mode. So select it, and then all you do is load back in. And what you want to make sure to do is you want to make sure that you load back in until that you can move your player. So don't do it straight away. You have to wait a second, load back in until you see your player being able to be moved. Alright, so now I'm in, I can move my character. Alright, even if you're loaded into a mission and you spawn straight in the mission, not in the safe house, doesn't actually matter, doesn't matter either way. Alright, so then what you want to do is you can see I'm on realistic difficulty. It's got the blue symbol. Okay, realistic. And then you're just going to want to close your app. Alright, make sure you close your app. I'm pretty sure you can just save and quit, but I've always closed the app and it's always worked, so I would do that. Back on the main menu. Alright, I'm going to click campaign. And as you remember, we were at the end of the first mission. However, we loaded in, went on realistic on the second mission. So now I'm just going to go resume story. And what this is basically doing is, because it doesn't save when you go save and quit on mission select, it's thinking that I was still on realistic even though it stays on that original mission. Now, this is awesome for you trying to do realistic playthrough because you can cheese it. However, obviously you need to go in order like I said at the start of the video, otherwise it won't keep that save. So you will need to do mission after mission. You can start at the end or at the start, as long as you go mission by mission. You go 1 to 12, or you go 5, back to 1, then to 5 again. Up to you. Alright, so you want to finish the last part of the mission. Now it is, like I said, it's unrealistic. It's going to be fucked. It is unrealistic. I'll try again. Hopefully I get it this. I will skip the video once I get it. Here for the entire time. I actually don't believe that.
Minister, are you alright? Can you move? Fine. I'm fine, please. Get me out of here. We gotta move! Get out of here! Now!
Alright. Hopefully she have this here. It's prone next to this building that hopefully should protect you. In the extraction point. To shoot any of the enemies that are in front of me. Alright, chuck some grenades and stuff. Hopefully you survive. This mission is no joke. Couldn't imagine doing the whole thing realistic myself, but I know people have. Just wait here, you don't need to move, even if it says go in the top, just wait right here. And then you know you're good when you get the cutscene. And I'll skip forward after the cutscene so you can see, as you can see right here. Okay, we have Black Ops, finished, first mission, and it's completed on realistic. So I know it's worked. You can also see challenges were completed, accolade was completed, so all that stuff will still save. Okay, but the big thing is I got the realistic, and so once you've done that, obviously you do this for every mission. Like I said, you really want to make sure that you're trying to get these accolades and these even these challenges. Try and get them as you're going along, especially the accolades because they're mission specific. I wouldn't worry about the calling cards. And try and get as many of those on your first playthrough as possible. That is first playthrough done. Let's move on to the second. Back to the wall. After finishing your first run, hopefully you got a heap of accolades. You definitely would have got the realistic and the veteran ones done. You might have even got this one done as well. This one is going to happen no matter what. Now, you're going to want to look at Immortal Fame. This is your next step. Okay? This is your second run. Now, I also like to combine Immortal Fame with all the collectibles, because while you're doing the veteran difficulty, you can focus on getting the collectibles, because I wouldn't be focusing on your accolades. If you focus on your accolades, you're probably not going to have a fun time. It is up to you though. You can if you want, I wouldn't. Now, I'm back on my main account, alright, and we're going to look at playthrough number 2. So, playthrough number 2, very, very similar to playthrough number 1. What we're going to do, except this time we're going for the no death. So we're going to want to make sure that we put on that cyber kinetic ability. So we'll go over to my thing. I already have it on, cyber core station, and we need to kind of make sure. No, it's not this one.
Where's
it's in your loadout.
He's asleep.
That's
I'm
right.
running him through
Okay.
some DNA
So it's the only thing is you can't do this from the very start because you need to unlock it, and it won't be unlocked obviously. So it's called Emergency Reserve. Alright, so you chuck this on your class, every class that you do on this run. Alright, and what this basically does is it will revive you when you go down. Now, I am at the random point, like I said earlier, so I'm just going to do it from this mission. Okay,
for Run to go public.
So what you will want to do, and this 100% works, I did it myself. Okay, load in on the mission. So even at this part, okay, you would want to make sure your difficulty is on veteran. Okay, you don't want to do this on realistic. I'm already halfway through the, not halfway, I'm like just kind of near the start of the mission, but I'm not at the very start. This is obviously just where I ended up. Okay, but to prove it, alright, so you want to get onto this part. Alright, just a normal mission. And basically what you'll want to do is you want to close your app as soon as you go into the emergency reserve. Now there could be a better way of doing this, but this is the way that I did it, and I guarantee that this works. Okay, so I'm just going to go die. Alright. Obviously they're not trying to kill me. Alright, and as soon as you see that revive, you pause the game, go to your app, close your app, and then you'd load back in. And what it will do is it will put you back at the exact same checkpoint that you were at before. Okay? So you will need to do that part. So if there's a really hard part, unfortunately you will have to beat that part, but luckily you're not on realistic, you're on veteran. Okay? And then you'll know that you've done it because at the end of the mission, it won't show me because I'm doing it on a different, I've already done it. But at the end of the mission, you'll get the no death for the accolades. Okay, and now we're up to step 3, and this is what I like to call the grind run. Now, if you do this all to a T, you should only need 3 runs. You might need to go into a mission to finish up. Now, what I'm going to do in this run is I actually don't have the mission up at the moment. So, what you're going to want to do in this run, and I'm going to explain this as easy as possible. You're going to go back in. You're going to start your campaign again from the very start. So this is after your first 2 runs. You're on your 3rd run now. Now you do have to do 3 playthroughs if you want this done as quick as possible. You could probably get it done in 2 if you did the first 2 to a T. But this 3rd run is your cleanup run. So we're on the, let's say we're on our 3rd run. Okay, let's have a look at our service board. Alright, what we want to try do in this run is try get all the weapon camos, all the attachments. You'll get all those at the same time. You want to fully upgrade your cybernetic core, and you want to purchase all abilities, and then you also want to do all the accolades that you've missed, all the campaign challenges that you've missed, and everything else. Now, I will come back to this one. And now, if you know this mission at all, if you played the campaign, you'll know that we're not actually at the part at the very start of the mission, even though that's what it said to do. And look what weapon I've got in my hand. HVK, PO6. Okay, I'll let it load in so you can actually see it, but I've got the HVK and I've got the PO6. So what that means is you can keep going to that part where you kill all the enemies. You can go, all the enemies. Okay, so shoot them. Once you finish, save and quit. Alright, make sure you save and quit. If you do not save and quit and you die, it will not count those kills. Okay, so save and quit, get up to that part again. Okay, once you save and quit, load back in. If you need to change weapons, go to the safe house. Okay, if you don't need to change weapons, just load back into that mission. Alright, you can go resume. You don't even need to go to the safe house. But if you need to change weapons, go to the safe house, change your weapons, make sure you pick that class, load back into the mission, say yes even though it says it's going to be from the start, and then when you load back in, you'll have those weapons ready. When you get up to this mission, and I'll show you some gameplay over the top. When you get up to Rise and Fall on your 3rd run, okay, what you're going to want to do, we know how the save and quit works now. So, what you're going to want to do is play Rise and Fall, and get up to the part that I'm showing on screen where you kill lots of enemies. However, you might notice that there's no way for you to change weapons, and you're going to need to do a lot, because you need to do 650 kills with every weapon, including a lot of secondaries as well. Some you don't need 650, I think you need less, but you need to get every single camo, and this takes a long time. However, what you can do is get up to that Rise and Fall mission, get up to the part where the enemies keep spawning, and I'll show gameplay behind it. And then what you want to do is save and quit, load in back into the safe house, come up to your weapons like this, pick a different weapon for every class. Okay, obviously it doesn't matter because you can only run one class. You can do even better. You can put on the overkill, so you can have 2 primary weapons because you'll probably get the secondaries done pretty quick. So you've got 2 weapons that you can do. Alright, you will need to keep track of the camos yourself. It does not pop up like in multiplayer. You need to keep track of the camos yourself. Alright, but you load back in, and what you will do is, let's say, okay, I finished the Shiva, I finished the VMP. So I'm going to go in, pick the HVK. I haven't done the HVK. Obviously put attachments, I'm not going to bother. And let's say I haven't done the P06. Okay, P06. So, I'll load in. You can do this with the cybernetic abilities as well. And what you'll do is you'll just go next mission. Now, it's going to come up with this. Okay, and I'm going to prove that this works right now. You saw before in my second run that I was in with different weapons. So, it will say, you will deploy this mission from its beginning. Do you wish to cancel? I'm going to go deploy. Let's see what happens. Oh, well, let's pick the class first. Okay, so now getting that combat immersion calling card and accolade, you're going to need a second controller. Now, you do need a second controller for this to work. This is a glitch. If you don't have a second controller, you won't be able to do this. Okay? So what you want to do is go back to the main menu. You can see at the top, I'm going to add my second controller. Alright. And then I can press X to let that controller join. Alright, and I can see my second controller is there, okay? Now, when you go into that second controller, you then go onto your main controller, go campaign, and you don't need to worry about doing this. You can do this at any time, okay? And you're going to go select mission, and you're going to go in darkness. It has to be in darkness. Alright, so what you want to do is load in. I'm going to keep this all in real time so you can see. And what you want to do is hold your second controller. Your second controller is more important than your first controller at the moment. Alright, skip the mission. As soon as you see your second controller should come in first. Go straight up to the chair, hold square, then grab your first controller. As soon as you load in, you're going to do the exact same thing to your second controller. So I'm loaded back in. Run up to this and hold square, and you should sit down in the exact same chair. Now, we're not finished there, but you've done the majority of the glitch right now, okay? If it doesn't work, you just go back out, go straight back into the mission. Same thing, in darkness, to make sure that you press X at the exact same time, otherwise the glitch will not work. Alright, so when you're loading in, make sure you press X at the same time on both controllers. 3, 2, 1. And then you should be good. Now, you're going to want to go and get your first controller. Okay, your top controller, your main controller. And you're going to go jump off the edge. Alright. Jump off the edge. Go continue. Continue. Alright, and you should have begin combat immersion. But you should still see your bottom controller. Now, to test if this worked, if you can hear that, I'm spamming the circle button and my player is not crouching. If your player is not crouching, that means I've worked the glitch. That means you are in God mode. You're going to want to get your second controller, and that is in God mode, and you're going to press End Combat Immersion, and it's going to leave the split screen down the bottom, and you're going to get your first controller, and you're going to go Begin. Now, you'll know this has worked is if it's the same as before. Can I crouch? I cannot. I'm spamming the circle button. I can do everything, but I can't crouch. Okay? So then when I go begin, I'll prove it. I'm going to go run up to these enemies. And I am invincible. Alright? Now, one thing to note is I was not on realistic to start this. You need to be on realistic before you start it. Alright? But just make sure that you're in realistic on the safe house. I'll put a note over the top. Once you do this, just go through the mission. I'm literally not dying. Go through the mission. Just defeat it. You need to be fairly quick, I think, to get the score. but I didn't even notice it, and I got it first try. Okay, go through the whole mission, and then you will get that last accolade. But that finishes up our video. Please make sure that you like. This is my first video, and I know it isn't the best quality, but I wanted to make sure that there was a video out here for those platinum hunters, and so a few more people can get this really, really hard trophy. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Get that personal decorator.